I wanted to create a fun, happy Thanksgiving card that was with a completely different color palette. Now, in your kit, I believe you guys have 2 leaves that are just kind of free floating, plus the grouping of leaves on the rectangular piece of paper. So how this was done was I used spray oxide ink tumbled glass. I spritzed it on the veiny side of some oak leaves. Then I took the oak leaves, brought them to my paper, my purple paper, put a paper towel behind the leaves, and then pressed it down even, removed the paper towel, and then lifted up the leaves, and what you have was leaf impressions in the Distress Oxide ink. Then, while the ink was still wet, I did gold embossing powder on the leaves. So part of the image is going to be embossed, and part of it is still going to have that kind of blue tone to it, which I think has a beautiful tone-on-tone effect that I love. I absolutely love it. All right, so we're going to fold that card in half. We're going to take our rectangular piece with the leaves on it, double-sided tape on the back side on all 4 sides. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this little thin strip of gold, we're going to cut this in half. Then we're going to be bringing this to the front. So we're going to start out, I would say maybe about 1/4 of an inch in from the far side. And we're going to fold it over and then bring that around. And then again, it's going to land about 1/4 of an inch from the far side. Okay. I'm going to put double-sided tape to hold that in place there. All right. Then we're going to take our kind of the tassel-y looking gold twine here. We're going to start by putting the ribbon on the back side, again, kind of right next to that little strip, and we're going to follow it onto the front and then again bringing it to the back and pressing it on the double-sided tape. Now, there are knots on the little twine because this twine loves to unravel, so after it's stuck to the double-sided tape, I'm going to trim those knots off so it doesn't create any bulkiness underneath the front of our card. All right, now I'm going to stick it on the front of my card base here. And I do have the little strips on the right side. If you want them on the left, of course, you're welcome to do so. And then I have my little Happy Thanksgiving sentiment, double-sided tape on the back side of that guy. That's going to go on the far left side, wherever you want to put it is great. And then on the inside of the card, we're going to take our little gold strip that's left over, and that's going to go on the inside. And if you want, I want it to kind of match up where it is coming from the front side. So in order to do this, I'm going to kind of eyeball it and say, oh yeah, the gold comes around and hits right there, and then on the back side or on the other side it comes around and it hits right there. So once I have my 2 dots of glue showing where that gold piece is on the front, I'm going to draw a tiny little line, and that's where I'm going to stick on this gold strip here. Okay, and while I wait for that to dry, because we're going to be trimming that off of the excess off of the edge, I'm going to fussy cut my little leaves. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, but the idea is I want to kind of create a similar kind of leaf shape. So I'm just going to fussy cut around this. And we're going to go around here. And then to this guy. All right, so there's one, and then we'll do the same thing with this one. And if you wanted to just do a partial leaf, or you have just the top part, or maybe you don't want to cut out the whole thing, but you like, you know, one side of it, you could certainly cut your leaf in half and just have half of it inside of your card. It's totally up to you. Or if you wanted to fussy cut both of these and recreate a completely different card, that is also another fun idea. So you got options for using your little bits and pieces. Okay, so now I'm just going to use some glue to just stick that on the back side there, making sure I have space on the inside to write my little sentiment. So I'm just going to stick this guy up here, and I think I'm going to stick this guy maybe over here like so. And then because it's hanging off of the edge, I'm going to trim that off because I just didn't need a full secondary leaf in there. I like just the partial. And then we'll take our gold here and trim that off there. And there we have our 3rd card. Yay! All right, friends, thanks for joining me for this week's card class. I hope you had lots of fun. Oh wait, that's the card we made today. That was my sample from earlier. Thanks for joining me for this week's card class. I hope you guys had a lot of fun and you learned something new. And I hope you're inspired to create things. I hope you have a great day, guys. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.